Hey guys, welcome back. We're on the monitor right now, and we're going to go over all the basic parts you need to get started with Arduino. So this is the SparkFun website. I highly recommend them again, and this is where we're doing all of our shopping stuff. You can access the parts that you need on this left tab, which on their homepage is right here. You can click them and expand them for the different categories, or just click them yourself. On the main page they have their blog as well as their featured images, and they do offer free shipping on orders over $60. But other than that, they're relatively cheap shipping compared to like Adafruit or anyone like that. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Arduino tab right here. Let's wait for that to load. Then I recommend you take a look at the Arduino SparkFun Inventors Kit, which is not the same thing as the Arduino starter kit because SparkFun does not offer that. What they do offer is the Redboard, which is their version of the Arduino. Same thing as the Arduino. The only real difference with that is they use a different USB connector to program it, and they use SMD. So as you can see here, all they did change was they like the stability of the FTDI, and they like the way they can use the R3 Uno shields, the ones I showed you in the video, and they use USB Mini B. Same stuff, as you can see, all of the stuff you know and love about Arduino, which is their 14 digital I/O pins, 6 PWM pins, and 6 analog inputs, UART SPI, and external interrupts. They've just used their own color board and changed some of the decals on there, but relatively the same components, and it still programs the same way as the Arduino, uses the same IDE, and you can use the same components. It's just like an Arduino itself. There's no real difference, just the minor details that I mentioned to you. Their Inventor's Kit comes with LCD screens, servo motor. It comes with a motor as well. I don't know if that's a DC motor or not. They have it all right here. 330 and 10K resistors, big 12mm buttons. They offer a piezo buzzer, which is a little device that makes a buzzing noise and it buzzes the board itself. 10K trumpet, red and yellow LEDs, tricolor LEDs, photocells, jumper wires, which are the little wires I mentioned to you in the actual video before. 6-inch SparkFun USB cable, that's what you use to program it. A soft pot, a flex sensor, a TMP36 temp sensor, SPDT 5-volt relay, small servo, a DC motor with gears, 1N4148 diodes, 2N22222 transistors, that's a lot of twos, shift registers, 16x2 LCD, mini screwdriver, carrying case, which I must mention that's very handy. When I first got started, I used a SparkFun board, and an Arduino and breadboard holder, as well as a SparkFun Redboard. The holder is very fancy. I love it. It holds your Arduino because when you use your USB cable, the cable wants to move back in its original position, so it's going to fling your board around, and it gets really flippin' annoying. So this will hold the breadboard that comes with it, and you can screw in your Arduino. I'm going to call it an Arduino from here on out because that's what it is. Here are pictures of the different sensors that they give you. LEDs, the servo motor and their mounting components, a photocell, the push buttons and stuff, the relays, all this other stuff that you'd really need. And here's a picture of it all together. Very organized, and it comes in this neat little box, as mentioned here, and it comes with a manual. So in that manual, it gives you circuit examples and the code examples. So this is really good for beginners, and I'll add that to our cart. As you can see, they have a lot in stock, 171 units. Let's move on to some of the other components. Here's the actual Arduino Uno R3, which is $29.95, not very pricey. It's a cheap board. Here is an up-close picture of it with the IC chip as well, and all the other components I mentioned to you. Very nice board. I really like Arduino and their whole platform they have going here. So let's add that to cart. Let's go back to the Arduino page. They have other boards as well, such as the Arduino Due and the Arduino Pro Mini, Arduino Yun. They have a bunch of different Arduino boards, but I recommend you get started with the Arduino Uno. That's the one everyone starts with, and when you get more advanced, you can move up to the Due and the Duramil. That's a tongue twister. I don't even know how to say that. Duramilve or something like that. It's very hard to say. It's one of the Arduinos they offer. Their Leonardo version. Um, they also have different pro versions of it, which are tiny ones that can fit on your breadboard. They're very small and cheap. They're only 19 bucks compared to the 29.95. But aside from that, that's all you really need to get started on this page. You can head over to books, and this is where they can give you they can teach you like practical Arduino books, electrical engineering. All these books will teach you. I just wanted to show you that real quick. We're gonna look for LED. There are many different LEDs you can get, such as an RGB LED. That's red, green, blue. So it's basically multi LED combined of red, green, and blue, hypothetically speaking. So we're going to order just one of this one, a yellow one, and a green one. We can add more the quantity of in the cart itself. They have infrared LEDs as well. Let's see here. They also have an assorted pack, which I'll just go ahead and add to the cart as well. And you guys can just look at these numbers, the product number, which is like COM-12062, and you can search that in their search bar, and it will give it to you. So I'll show you this RGB LED COM. As you can see, it already tries to pop different options. 00105, and we'll search that. And you see it shows up the same RGB LED as that one. It's 195. 195, you can see it's the same one. So we added that to our cart. We're going to go back to the SparkFun homepage. We're going to look at LCDs. Now, they have many other LCDs that are touchscreen, and I do not recommend you start with that. Just get a basic LCD screen like this that uses 5 volts white on black, and they're easy to use and get started with. I'm going to look for the one with the serial backpack, which makes it much easier to program. Instead of having all of these wire or headers right here that you have to plug into different ports on your Arduino, and it takes forever to wire, and it is a giant mess. So we are going to look for LCD with serial, can't spell today, serial backpack. Serial enabled LCD backpack, they sell it separately as well. But I will go to my account and my products, which I have ordered things from SparkFun before. Let's look for that. Here it is. Excuse me. Here's a picture of the LED, or the LCD, excuse me. As you can see, they have it already soldered on there for you, and it has the backpack on there. So all you need is an RX ground and 5 volts. Very handy. As you can see, they can use it and show it an example in here. They have a lot of units, so they always get new shipments of their own products because this is the board they make. It's got the features, and since this is a company that revolves around open source electronics, as you can see, they have all these comments and stuff, but down here, it basically, they just love open source and they're all about that. So let's go back up again. They have their schematics, Eagle files, which are their CAD that they designed it in. Quick start guide, let me show you that real quick. As SparkFun, they love giving you guides to get started with their products, and example code and how to hook it up. So if you pay attention in here, they'll tell you how to make the circuit, and in the manual you get, if you decide to order the SparkFun Getting Started with the Breadboard kit, it will come with all of that. Let's take a look at batteries. The one I recommend you get just to get started with is the one with the barrel jack, which I cannot find on here, so I will just go to my projects and add that in myself, which is this one. And you guys can once again just copy these numbers down to the products and search them and add them to your cart. Bye. They have a lot of other products aside from that one battery holder. Let's get the servo motor. And once again, I'm just going over the parts list for the people who just want to buy everything separately and not to buy it all at once. So if you want to once again buy it all yourself, I recommend should go and buy the SparkFun Adventures Kit, and it's only $99.95, and that's much cheaper. I've calculated it. It ends up being $20 cheaper than buying all of these parts together, which, as you can see, ends up to $100. I'll remove that kit for you, just so you can see how much money you save when I have everything together. So let's go back to our kits and add that back. They also have a simpler starter kit right here, much simpler. It's got much less parts though, so I just recommend getting this SparkFun Adventures kit. The next thing we will be going over is the wire. See if you see the jumper wires, they're only $4.95 for 30 of them, and they're male to male. So here's a photo of them, and you can they have separate colors, so like you can use this for 5 volts, this for analog input, this for pulse width modulation, and black for ground. We'll add that to the cart. Next, we're going to go look at the Ethernet shield. So Arduino Ethernet shield. So if I misspelled something, it will come up with the same thing anyway. As you can see, it is a hefty price of $45.95, but it is the same price as anywhere else you buy it. So let's take a look. Same thing I showed you. Very nice board. Now let's go back to the servo. Here is one that is only $8.95. They all work the same way, it's just some are different sizes and come with different mounting hardware. So we've added that to our cart, and we're going to go next to stepper motor. They have many selections of the same product. These are just the ones I'm picking out randomly for the show. Let's add that to the cart, and we'll go to stepper motor. You also need a controller to control the stepper motor as well. Since the Arduino cannot do it on its own, it needs a separate board, which is only $14.95. And it's got all of the appropriate mounting spots for the cables that you need to solder in. Let's add that to our cart, and as you can see here, they show us how they've hooked it up. They've hooked a pirate flag to it, which is typical SparkFun. And they have actually plugged into a breadboard. Instead of soldering the wires on, you can just plug in headers and just plug it into your breadboard and wire it like that. But that's just an example to show you. I've already added it to our cart. Now let's take a look at the cart right now. Make sure we're not missing anything. That way you guys can get a full feel for the items that I've mentioned. It's $226, but that is only because of the SparkFun Adventures kit, which includes all of the same stuff. But let's take that off. And as you can see, that is $126. $126. That's a lot more than the actual kit they've made. And the reason is they're able to put all that together in one kit, so they're able to get bigger bulk discounts on their product to you guys, the consumers. So these are all of the parts. As you can see, the Arduino Uno, LEDs, the sorted pack, the battery holder, the jumper wires, the Arduino Ethernet shield, the servo, the stepper motor with the cable, the easy driver stepper motor, and I'm going to go through and scroll so you can search these on your own in the SparkFun store themselves. So feel free to pause at any point while I'm scrolling and write down these numbers with the name of what it is you'd like to buy and the prices, and you should have no problem figuring out how to add them to your cart. It's very self-explanatory. They also give, if you're an educator, so if you're a teacher at a school or you just teach at a community center, they give you discounts. They give you tech support. So